Okay, we're live. Welcome to Project Metal's Monday Night's podcast. My guest tonight is Tony from Rebel Troubadour. And I know most of you guys have heard of them because we spoke a lot about the band and their music and where they do gigs and stuff over the last few years. So welcome, Tony. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us, Basjan. It's been a pleasure, and lovely to speak to you and everybody else.
Oh, that's fantastic. Just waiting for some other band members to come on. And while we wait, I'm going to carry on with my normal segments of my bands that I've got for this week that I found. My first band I've got for tonight is Temperance. It's a modern Italian melodic power metal band. And the first track I listened to, The Rumor, it's a super cool song. The Last Hope of the World is such a great song. The track Jupiter and Moon is amazing. Unspoken words must be played loud. The band is awesome. They can be found on Facebook, Temperance Band, Instagram, Temperance Official, and the band's website is temperance.com. On YouTube, they are on Napalm Records. And then I've got a British band, Muddy Brook, alternative grunge trio from Derby in the UK. And the first track I listened to, You Don't Own Me, the Leslie Gore cover, is brilliant. The Devil is Out of This World is amazing song. Liverpool Guy, and that's another cover. It's such a great song. The track Turn to Dust is a fun song. The band impressed me, and they can be found on Facebook, muddybrook.com, on Facebook, Muddy Brook, Music Basic Muddy Brook on Instagram, and the band's website is muddybrook.com, and it's also Muddy Brook on YouTube. Tell me, Tony, have you heard of Muddy Brook before?
I haven't actually, Basjan. No, it sounds pretty cool.
You must, if you get a chance, listen to their Leslie Gore cover, You Don't Own Me. I tell you, when I put that on, it totally blew me away. I thought, wow, that is fantastic.
That's brilliant.
And I'm glad. Then I found a band called Violet. It's a ARR melodic rock band from Stuttgart in Germany. The first track I listened to, Do You Wanna Please Me, the Samantha Fox cover, done by a German band, and it's an awesome metal cover. They actually own it, the band. And the track Sophie, Play It to the Max. Sophie is a fantastic song. The band deliver on each track, and they can be found on Facebook. Just got my pages. Violet Official, Instagram, Violet the Band. The band's website is violet.de for Germany, and YouTube, Metropolis Music. Then I found another band from the UK, Atlas. It's a melodic hard rock band from the UK. The first track I listened to, You're Not Alone, is a brilliant song. All or Nothing is a kick-ass song. The track Crack the Sky, the Mastodon cover, is such a great song. Crystal Mountain is a killer song. I do like the band, and I can't wait for the new album. The band can be found on YouTube, Metropolis, Facebook Atlas Project UK, and X Atlas Music UK. Atlas, have you heard of the band, Tony?
It rings a bell, actually, through conversation, but I would need to look into it. Yeah, quite exciting.
I'm very excited because when you look at bands from around the world and you see UK bands coming through, and they claiming their own spots in the indie market and on the world stage as well. It's always fantastic.
Absolutely, it's quite exciting to actually get in a position where your music can be listened to and identified.
Definitely, I agree with you. Then I found a band called Briefoff. It's a heavy metal band from Germany. The track I listened to, Reset My Sanity, must be played to the max. Rest in Peace is out of this world. Wheel of Fortune is such a great song. Metal in My Heart is a killer song. The band is out of this world. They can be found on Facebook Briefoff Band, YouTube Metropolis Music. Then I found a Swedish band called Prime Creation. It's a Swedish metal band formed in 2015 and consists of skilled and experienced musicians. The first track I listened to, Stofia, is awesome. Erased will blow you away. State Domination is a powerful song. I do like the band and they deliver on every track. They can be found on Facebook Prime Creation Official, band's website primecreation.com, and YouTube Roar of Rock Angels Records and X Prime Creation. Then I've got Course of Fate. It's a progressive metal band from Fredrikstad, Viking in Norway. The first track I listened to, Morpheus Dream, will take you on a metal journey. Blindside is an awesome song. The track End is amazing. Utopia is a cool song. I do like the band and it can be found on Course of Fate, Instagram Course of Fate, YouTube Roar_Rock of Angels Record. Then I've got. How many guys have heard of the band Steelhammer? Have you heard of the band Steelhammer?
Not recently, no.
Well, they're back. They're back. That is Udo's band, if I'm correct. Chris Bolton Dahl has taken the band over, and he is actually released a new album, and I've got it. And let me tell you, this Steelhammer band, it's a German heavy metal group band from Gladbach. It's the first track I listened to, Midnight Oil's Beds Are Burning. The band owns the track. It's better than the original. Fire Angel is brilliant. The track Beyond the Black Souls is a powerful song. Reborn Fire will knock you out of your socks. The band is amazing and it can be found on Facebook, Chris Bolton's Dahl's Steelhammer, Instagram, Chris Bolton Dahl's Steelhammer, and YouTube Rock of the Angels Records. Yes, that was Udo's band, the great German singer. He was the lead singer. And
Right.
then it actually went away the band. Now Chris Bolton Dahl is basically taking the band from the ashes and brought them back.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. So that'll be quite exciting to be seeing them and hearing them soon with the fans and new listeners.
Well, look, knowing the bands from the Europe, I'll be sure to make a plan to visit the UK sometime.
Right.
The UK seem to be on a playlist and stuff like that. So hopefully you and Al can check them out live and give us some feedback.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's always great to get an opportunity to see bands coming over, and they could probably sneak us in their suitcases so we can go and play over there, maybe something.
That'd be fantastic if you can sort of like tour here and you go tour there with them. That'd be fantastic. Now, then I found a rock band called Anahata, a rock metal duo from Transylvania.
Right.
The first track I listened to, it's Shakespeare Sisters cover. It's such a great song. Oh, Father, the Viking music is super cool. The track Mary on Cross Ghost cover is such a great song. Imperium Anarchics is amazing. Masquerade will blow you away. They can be found on Arta Official on Facebook, Anahata Official on Instagram, and Anahata Band on YouTube. Have you heard of the band Anahata?
No, I mean, there's a lot there that obviously is probably slightly out of our focus, but it's nice to be told about them so we're aware of them and can get them on the radar. So there's so many bands, isn't there, that are there, and it's really important to know about them.
Oh, definitely. That's why I love doing indie bands, because every week I found so many, and I found the music also brilliant songs. That's why I can't remember the last time I actually been to one of the big artists' gigs and stuff. I go and watch the indie artists. That's my passion.
Oh,
sure.
Fantastic! Yeah, there's a great sound in indie music's. It's a really good sound. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Then I've got a band called Deprivation. It's a crushed metal band from Gießen in Germany. The first track I listened to, Vampire Burial, is awesome. I'm Scutten is a dark and crazy good song. The track Feast with Rats is creepy good. Big Dier is out of this world. The band kicks ass and they can be found on Facebook, Deprivation Kills, Instagram Deprivation Kills, and YouTube Little Force Records. And the last band for tonight, before I get to the gigs, is Deadlock. It's a melodic death groove band from Schwarzenfeld, Bavaria, Germany. The first track, Coat of Honor, is brilliant. Awakened by the Sirens, you've got to play it to the max. Renegade is a powerful song. The track, The Great Pretender, the Freddie Mercury version, they said they did the Freddie Mercury version cover. It's out of this world. And the band can be found on Deadlock Official on Facebook, Instagram, Deadlock Band. The band's website is Deadlock Official, and Deadlock Band on X or Twitter, and YouTube, Napalm Records. And that's my bands. And now to the gigs. Let's give some let you know where the bands are playing this week. I've got bands all over the world.
Fantastic.
Let me start up with Escuela Grind. Tuesday, 5 September, Vienna, the Viper Room in Austria. Thursday, 7 September, Weinheim Cafe, Germany. Sunday, 17 September, Stefan. It's at Kulturpalaz in Germany. And then the 17th, Stuttgart, Germany. 23, Rome at the Traffic Life Club. And then 26, St. Jean de Vanda, that's a secret place in France. November 2023, Devastation in Calvaria. 9th of November, Wolverhampton at KK's Steel Mill. Friday the 10th, Manchester Academy. Saturday 11th, London Shepherd's Bush Empire. As everything unfolds, UK and EU tour. 9 September, UK Torquay, Burn It Down Festival. 12th, Manchester Academy. The 13th, UK London Islington Academy. The 15th September, Germany at Hamburg Head Crash. The 16th, Germany, Dresden and Pulskana Club. The 20th, Germany, Munich Backstage. The 21st, Stuttgart, Weissman, Studio 22. The 22nd, Meiningen in Germany, at Kraftwerk. And the 23rd, Biden in Switzerland, Werkkultuurlokaal. Then the 24th of September at Cologne MTC, 26th France Paris International, 28th Netherlands Drachten Iduna, and then Suburban Twice, another one of the great bands. 4th of September, there'll be a D.H. Lawrence Festival with Freetons Eastwood. And 11th of October, there'll be in Southside St. Catherine's, Lincoln, that'll be in Lincoln. And the 21st of October, Victoria Street, Goole. And the 18th of November, the Vic in Midlands Place. And then the 16th is the Christmas Bash at Summack Centre P4TH Nottingham. You must have met Suburban Twice, Tony. Or no?
We've not had the pleasure of actually being on the same bill or the gig. We're aware of them. They're a fantastic, punk ethos band, and the music is really good. And I think we've been on a couple, maybe on at least one of a social sort of interview connection in the past, probably over 3 years ago. But yeah, they've got quite a few gigs that they've done, and quite a few coming ahead.
Well, if there's any promoters out there, get these two bands together, because I can't think of a better gig. Rebel Troubadour and Suburban Twice.
Yeah.
Put them together.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be a good night. That would be a good evening.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I can't think of a better gig for sure. Then I've got the Machine Killer North American tour. For the North Americans, tell me, listen, I don't feature the gigs and stuff. With Static X, 7 Dust, the 16th, Houston, Texas, the 7th, Dallas, Texas, the 8th, Little Rock, Arizona, the 10th, Atlanta, Georgia, the 11th, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, the 13th, at Greensboro, North Carolina, and the 14th, Silver Spring, Maryland, Lancaster, Pennsylvania on the 15th, and the 17th, Detroit, Michigan, the 18th of October, Fort Wayne, Indiana, the 19th, Gary, Indiana, then the 20th, Clive, Indiana, Chesterfield, Missouri on the 22nd, and in Kansas City, and Missouri on the that's the 20th, 24th, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the 25th October, Denver, Colorado, the 27th, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then the 26th, El Paso, Texas, the 30th, Phoenix, Arizona, 31st, Anaheim, California, and the 1st of November, LA, California. Then south of Salem, the Samhain Supernova Tour. First date the 26th of October, London, UK, the Black Heart. Friday the 27th, Turnbridge Forum. Sunday the 29th, Bristol at Exchange. The 30th, Glasgow at the Attic. the 31st, Newcastle at the Think Tank. And Wednesday, the 1st of November, Million Keys and Crow, the 3rd, Crawford Arms. And the 2nd, Manchester at Rebellion. And the Friday the 3rd at KK Steel Mill, Wolverhampton. Then Saturday, the 4th, Inverness at the Monster Fest. That's that. But south of Salem, have you heard of them, Tony?
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah. But
that's good.
Again, it's something that you've heard in the past, listened to a little bit about, and just here and there. There's a few names picking up, but yeah,
yes.
very good, very exciting.
Oh, that's awesome. Kerry said. Kerry, she's one of the listeners that's coming in.
Okay, is that Kerry? Hi, Kerry.
Yes, I'm definitely not in the band, Kerry. I'm not good enough looking to be in Rebel Troubadour. Sorry, and I can't sing. These guys are professionals.
Would you, Kerry can hear me, no doubt.
Yes, you can.
I can answer this question. Hi, Kerry. Nice to get the question from you. We would possibly be in sort of a punky garage sort of rock genre, if you like. We sort of, obviously we write our own material, lots of influences from sort of, the punk and rock and other great bands in the past. So we've sort of put our memories and our enthusiasm of what we like within music, and it's sort of like a punky garage rock genre, I would say. It's the songs are different, of course, because however we're writing and however we feel within that era or within that particular song could be different to the next song. So that's the beauty about it. So we don't keep it similar. We get ideas and gel together in the rehearsal room, and if we feel that song is coming in for that particular vibe, then that we'll say, yeah, that's good, we like that, and it could be different from the last few that we've done. So that's the beauty of it. It's just creating. It's all about creation, really. But I would say a punky sort of punky garage rock, I would say, if that answers your question.
If there's any more questions for Tony, please ask. Kerry, thanks for the question. Please ask. Tony, now who writes the music in the band? Is it everybody, or is it specific people in the band that's writing the music?
Yeah, between myself, as a bass player, I'm a natural rhythm guitarist, but I took up the bass in the role within the band, which was new to me about 4 years ago. So I've sort of started writing over a decade ago and just writing my own songs, and then because this is sort of my third band, if you like. Rob is a lyricist, he writes, and the drummer Vince, he has ideas and inputs with his lyrics as well. So all three of us actually have an input into the songs, and the rhythms will come from me and Rob as ideas, and then we when we're in the rehearsal room, we'll talk about them and play them and work on them that way. So we're quite fortunate that all three of us do write and get ideas together, which is good.
That's fantastic. And tell me, have you ever considered, say, for instance, you write a song and you're not sure about, say, alternative version of the song, having both versions, like one as a bonus track on, say, two versions of the same song on the same album?
That's a really good question, that, Basjan. We actually, over the last few months, me and Rob have got together just to have a little acoustic sort of practice, because we wanted to see what the idea was like if we'd done our tunes on an acoustic level, just for a bit of practice. And there was one song of ours called Walking Dead, which is up on our latest, I believe it's on our latest EP, but it's on social media and on the YouTube channels. And that was done as a little duo on the acoustic guitars together, and sounded completely different. Sounded, really, really good, actually. But in terms of other songs, there's a possibility that you could look at the tune and say, well, we could either change it slightly or slow it or fasten it. But that's the beauty about, being creative. If you felt that you could want to try it out that way, yeah. But there's a couple that we've done acoustically, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, is that Kerry again? She's come through. Rob's just joined us, I believe, as well.
Rob.
Rob's there now.
Right.
Rob.
The record deal. That's Kerry again. Do we have a record deal, or are your guys independent? Yeah, we've got loads of record deals. The phone's actually, I've got one now, actually. It would be nice, actually, but we
same like AC/DC, aren't we? Now AC/DC about ready to retire. We're going to take over. So
yeah, we're doing what I suppose bands have done decades previous. We have the love of music. We have time together, rehearsal. We write songs, and we've gone out the way to put our own money into booking into recording studios. We made our first album it's a self-titled album called Rebel Troubadour, which is all on the platforms there, so you can download what you want from it, the whole lot, package or individual. And that was back going on nearly 4 years ago now, back in the 2019 to 2020, just before lockdown came in. And again, we done an EP last year. Should have been about 4 songs, but we managed to get about 5-6 out of it, which was great. And that's all about doing it yourself. It's a very DIY sort of ethos as music is, and that's the only way you get your music out. And it's got to a level where it's to great people like yourself, where you've heard about who we are, and that's through just us doing what everybody else has done over the decades, and that's getting together, having a love of music, and wanting to play in front of people. But in terms of record deals, we're very willing and open for phone calls coming in, Kerry. If you listen to this, unless you're a promoter yourself, of course, or you've got. Does she do the record deals? That's the thing.
I know Kerry is a person of many talents. I don't know if she does the records though.
Yeah, we're independent. That's the answer to the question. Yeah.
Talking about independent, I found a lot of the big names are going indie. Talk for instance, Joel Hoekstra, Whitesnake. He's actually gone indie. He's doing the stuff now for the love of his fans, the music. He's gone indie. Robin McCauley, he's gone indie as well. Dee Snider has gone indie. A lot of the big names, artists, going solo and doing it for the love of their fans. They're not interested in doing it for the money anymore. They want to do something for the fans and deliver something for the fans.
Yeah, I think that's true in some ways, because I think a lot of the big bands, they sort of become a victim of their own success. So they kind of the record companies then want them to do the same sort of album over and over again. So you get like sort of bands like Oasis, which started off really independent, writing their own stuff and really sort of innovative stuff. But after sort of when they started hitting it big, I think the record company want the same songs over and over and over again. And if you're if you're an artist and you're trying to write new music, you don't really want to write the same song and over again. Which you can understand the record companies, because they want to sort of they see that you've had a certain amount of success with a certain style, but it can sort of stifle creativity. So all those guys that you mentioned, that have gone and done stuff independent, I can fully sort of appreciate, why they wanted to do that. So yeah.
But see, also,
I'll just say
also,
thank you for the question there.
Also, I think if you're going touring, when you sign a record deal with the record company, you have to produce so many albums. They're through the agents and stuff to take where you're going to tour, who's going to tour with you, and who you're going to play with and who can't you play with.
Yeah.
So everything is decided for you before you even get on the plane what you're going to do. If you're indie, you can decide, listen, I want to play, say for instance, in Hull, I want to play in Sutherland, I want to play there in the UK. If you're one of the major acts, you can't decide that. There's no ways you can play at the smaller venues for your fans.
That's correct. Yeah, and we've seen it in history.
Yeah, bands sort of want to. It's difficult because if the bands want to kind of make it, in some ways they've got to follow the management. So it'd be very, very difficult to sort of break out as an independent artist and do everything that you want to do. I suppose the management picks it up and tells you, like you were saying, you've got to play here and everywhere. You've got to play with this band on the bill. You've got to play those sort of songs. The radio want you to produce another song, like, you could name certain bands that have probably continued sort of, playing the same sort of hits over and over and over again, which probably must drive the band mad, to be honest. So, going to see Motörhead, and Lemmy said on stage, he said before they played Ace of Spades, he said, I absolutely hate this song. He said, I've played it every night for the last 30 years. I really hate it. But, you just want to come and you want to hear me play it, so I'm going to play it. But, I think it drove him mad.
Oh, yes. No, it is. And that's the thing. One thing I must I buy of certain band called Lynyrd Skynyrd. They had that song Free Bird, and they went to a concert, I think it was Glastonbury in the UK, the festival, and they said that they were asked to play Free Bird, and they said, the lead singer said, look, we don't feel like playing it tonight. We're not going to play it tonight, but we're going to play something else. And for me, if you're not in the mood for that emotional song like that, to play it, rather not play it and skip it, as to overplay it and you actually feel nothing for the song anymore.
Yeah, you must get like that after, Lynyrd Skynyrd, after 30, 40 years or whatever. Yeah, that could. I mean, it's difficult because the place like Glastonbury, who don't really, a lot of the fans, probably not rock fans, probably don't really know the band that well. And the only song they'll probably know is sort of Freebird or Sweet Home Alabama. And it's a difficult one because the crowd will want them to play those songs. But they still want to sort of try and slip in. If you're recording a new album, you want to sort of you want the fans to hear what you're playing, and you want to play that new stuff.
Yes,
it is a very delicate balance. I mean, some of the bands, I got to watch Status Quo, and they play a lot of the same songs, sort of every single time. Whatever you want, rocking all over the world. In the army now, they've got to play those songs because the casual fans that go along, I suppose they're expecting that you're gonna play those songs, and they paid
So
£4 for a ticket. So it's difficult. But we'll I don't know. Maybe one day, Tony, we'll have that dilemma, won't we?
Tell me, how do you feel?
We're not playing Refugee again. I'm bloody sick of that.
How do you feel when you go and do a live gig and you're having a good time, your fans are having a good time, and somebody strolls in and said, "Hey, can you do this cover or that cover?" without listening to you? How do you feel about such a person?
Sorry, how do you feel about the cover?
Yeah.
Covers.
Yeah, we've had that at a gig sort of thing. We played down at Chesterfield once, and the guy shouted out, "Play something we know," But we would, and I said, "Well, we're an originals band, so we're not going to be playing anything that you particularly. We might do a couple of remote songs, but that, we're an original band. We're not going to suddenly play. We do play the odd Ramones song. We play sort of Sex Pistols, Pretty Vacant, don't we? And one or two others. It depends where we play. If we're playing in the middle of town and it's a sort of mixed audience, not really a rock punk audience, then we're more likely to put a few covers in there, aren't we? That people will know. So, Ramones, Blitzkrieg, Hey Ho, Let's Go. Everybody knows it. Pretty Vacant, and they go down really well. But we don't want to go. We don't want to do too many of those, because at the end of the day, the fans are just sort of clapping because you played their favourite song by another artist, not because of when you get a round of applause for a song that you've sat down and written yourself and worked up with the band, that's far more satisfying than playing a cover and getting a round of applause, because it's something you've created and something that people have sort of caught onto and liked.
Kerry is asking Tony, Rob, I could always try to see if our biggest concert centre could bring you to Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada. Would you be willing to go?
We're going to play. Yeah.
I'm just online booking the air tickets now.
I'm big guitar's going to open my case now.
Oh yes,
that's very kind. I mean, it's
I'd like a taxi to the airport, please. Yeah, we're going to Canada.
Yeah, I presume there's going to be some extra cold clothing, cold weather clothing that we're going to need. We're going to need a bit thicker jacket, presumably, with Nova Scotia, are we?
Yeah, we'd love to. I mean, Tony will tell you in a second. You've got potentially some gigs lined up. Possibly going to Spain, haven't we, Tony?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's potential, obviously, from sort of connections, family, sort of who's gone over there to live, and they with all the elements of the bars and stuff like that. There's been an invitation that you could welcome to go over, but it would be nice to venture out of the UK and play, and that's just taking your music, on a journey to other people that probably won't have the chance to see you, and obviously if they're listening to you on online, or if they're listening to your music and they're downloading your albums, whichever, to see the band in person, for you to go into their hometown, that would be quite an exciting time for them as well, which is what it's all about, isn't it, in terms of if you get that opportunity. But
over the last few weeks, I found a lot of bands from Spain and Portugal, metal rock bands. So there is a metal and rock scene brewing there, and I'm glad they're also coming through. So opening doors for you guys to go and play punk rock bands in Spain, maybe Portugal, I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, I regularly go to Canary Islands, and I've seen in some of the smaller bars, I've seen some really good Spanish heavy metal bands. just playing small bars for the tourists, sort of to 30, 40 people. Yeah, I mean that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? So
yeah, that would be good. And we just got a reply from Kerry there saying it's not as cold as we think here. It's the same as Boston, USA. So it sounds good. We're
coming.
It sounds good. If you can get a good hot dog with some fries, bit of mustard on there, we'll be over.
Kerry, see, hot dog will do with fries and mustard.
And a beer, of course.
And a beer. Not Molson. Proper beers, eh?
I've actually been to Canada years ago. I went to Jasper and Calgary, and up into the Rockies and all that. Yeah, it's great. I'd love to go back.
How about poutine? Rob and Tony. Kerry's asking.
What was that? I think I missed a question there. But, yeah, it would be nice to go to. It would be nice to play abroad, wouldn't it? I mean, we'd just enjoy what we're doing, and any gig we can sort of get, and you get a chance to play, music that you've created in front of new people. It's like we get a radio play as well, obviously through your channel and through other ones. We have had a certain amount of play in America. We even got a play in Australia once, and it's kind of when you do get any radio play, whether it's sort of local radio or something sort of across the other side of the world, it's just really nice to know that people are listening to something that you've created. It's quite an exciting sort of thing, really, and that's one of the main things that we're doing it for.
Oh yes. Well, now I can tell you actually got fans here in South Africa as well. I'm from South Africa, all the way in South Africa. And we've been listening to Rebel Troubadour over here as well. Because I've been sharing the music.
Oh, thank you very much.
Hopefully when things settle down here, I'd love to see you.
Yeah, it'd be nice to do. So what we need to do is go to Nova Scotia and then down to South Africa. Then up to Spain.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then Rotherham.
That's great. Well, it's just nice to know and to actually speak to, to people like yourself and obviously anybody listening out there that actually it's great. That's the ultimate thing, I think. I mean, every time I play on stage, as soon as I see somebody that's moving in front of me, tapping the leg or dancing or moving the body, that's it. That's accomplished. Because for an idea where you think of a tune or you get lyrics, you put them together, you talk to the guys in rehearsal, you practice it in rehearsal, you've got something going, you work on it, you've then got it, and then you've got to play it live for the first time, because we've probably got a good 7 or 8 new songs that nobody's heard yet. And I would probably say about a good 4 of them, maybe 3 or 4 are good, potentially ready to play for the first time, I would say, or at least a couple, I would say there confidently. So when you've got that and you're playing it for the first time and you see that reaction, for me, that is everything. Is the ultimate thing for somebody to react to your music, as I would do and everybody else does, to see the joy and to see them enjoying it, and liking that vibe, which is great. Yeah, so it's nice to hear it's coming from South Africa and Nova Scotia. So there's 2 connections there at least. We can clarify that.
We've got the songs, sort of enough songs to do another album now, haven't we? It's just sort of getting it all together, because we're a little bit geographically separated from the drummer who he lives in Scarborough, doesn't he? But he is travelling a bit to come down to see us and practice. It's like a sort of 2.5 hour journey for him to get down here, isn't it? And but he's very keen. and he's writing a lot of songs as well. He's got songs coming out of his ears. Every week, every time we see him, so I've got another 3 songs. Right, okay.
Oh, that's it.
I'm not learned the first one yet.
Have you got any gigs coming up supporting the songs you're going to be playing, the new songs and stuff that you've got lined up? Any gigs we can look forward to?
Yeah, so last week we played in Sheffield on Saturday. Next week we're playing at a place called Moorthorpe on a heavy metal bill, which is in South Yorkshire. So yeah, we're playing on these heavy metal bills. We're probably, we're not really heavy metal, but we're definitely sort of rock and roll. As Lemmy says, to paraphrase Lemmy, we are Rebel Troubadour and we play rock and roll. And that's what we do. And we seem to go down well with the rock lineups, just as well as we do with the punk lineups. So I think we're kind of crossover, aren't we? And we're not trying to say we're just one genre.
I was mentioning before, I was just mentioning to before that we, as you mentioned, we're like a sort of punky garage rock. We write to how we feel, and obviously different sounds and influences will reflect on the songs that will be produced. So it's not a flatline same type of song. We might bring in a feel of genre. There might be a bit of reggae in there with Staycation. There might be a little bit of our own sort of gelled, energy that's going into it. And those songs are all there to be listened to. So the beauty is that we play for the first time actually at the weekend, as Rob just said, there at Sheffield. And that was in a place called Making Noise Studios, which is a fantastic place because not only does it hold gigs, and it actually provides the opportunity, as I was looking into it, to actually make music videos or photography for your band. So it's got the whole package looking at it, which we had a chat about that. It's quite interesting to see. And that was under a new promoter, which is has been fantastic as well, which has actually got us a good sort of handful of gigs. And we're playing next week, as Rob mentioned, in Moorthorpe, which is just north of Doncaster, on another metal bill. Another metal bill. So we met some good bands at the weekend there, and we liked their music. You could see they were liking ours. I think there's 5 of us in total on the bill in Sheffield. There's going to be another 5 of us in Moorthorpe, North Doncaster next week, this Saturday coming. And that's more of a metal bill again, but they have different feel within their bands, and we're sort of like, giving what we give. So we're looking forward to that.
That's awesome.
And then a couple of weeks after that, we're playing in Derby for the first time under the same promoter. And they've got 4 bands, including us. So in terms of promotion, the Morton Empire, is that right, Rob, on the promoter?
Yeah, a guy called John Harris.
John Harris,
yeah.
We met for the first time on Saturday.
Which, reliable promoter, isn't it, Tony? We've had problems with this, and we're not going to name any of the bad ones, but you get who want to be, you kind of want to be the big man, and they're telling everybody to send the music in and promising gigs. We've had a couple of guys let us down really badly, and then we found this new guy, John Harris, and he's been absolutely fantastic, and he's found us a lot of gigs. Both on venues and rock and punk rock lineups as well. So we're doing very well with him, and he's a great bloke. He's taking on an awful lot of work, and he's putting on some really good gigs. So
And then we've got in October, a couple of weeks after we play in Derby, we're going up to Hull to play Springbank Tavern up in Hull there. Who we're going to be on with a group called Pinhead Larry, and that's going to be a Halloween evening. So I think everyone's going to be going dressed up as Halloween, so we'll be going as ourselves. We'll slot in nicely.
Yes, I've been promoting that one with Pinhead Larry for some time now. The Springman Tavern,
right?
So I've got that.
Yeah.
I've been wondering who's Pinhead Larry. I've never heard.
They're an upcoming. They kind of base the music around. They say they're influenced by Ramones, and they sound a little bit like Ramones, Green Day sort of thing, but they've got this really wacky, strange sort of image. But they are an upcoming band, and they did play the big Rebellion Festival this year on the introducing stage. Quite a big event. Yeah. So they are a sort of very much an upcoming band. I think they're on a UK tour at the moment. So yeah, it's very good for us to play alongside those guys. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that. So yeah, I've got to get my Freddy Krueger outfit for that night. I think you're going as Dracula, aren't you?
Yeah, sounds like fun, guys.
I'll be getting my fangs out and my black cape.
Yeah, the drummer looks like a werewolf anyway, so he's fine. He doesn't have to get dressed up, does he?
Oh yes,
yeah. In the Derby, saying when we play in Derby for the first time, which is in a couple of weeks, we're on with some great bands again. There's Worm, is it Minotaur, Left Debris. So these are bands that we've never played with before again, which is going to be, a nice experience to meet other bands as well and see their music and for ourselves to have the opportunity to play. In different places.
A sort of local punk band that they've been going for about 30 years. So sort of locally in the Midlands in our area, they're quite a big sort of band. So yeah, it's a ticketed one that they're actually selling tickets for it, so it's not a free sort of gig. Minotaur, they're an upcoming grunge band, and they're headlining it, and they're getting, when they put a video up on YouTube, they're getting several thousand sort of views for the music that they're playing. So they're very much a band. So we're hoping. I mean, the Victoria Inn is quite an iconic venue in the Midlands. There's a lot of sort of bands play there. Everybody wants to play there, and so we're really happy to get on that bill. That's kind of it's a good one for us. That
definitely. KSH is definitely gonna check you guys out. And Al wants to know the whole gig, is it for Rock Union that you're doing it? The Rock Union. Matt, Matt, what's his surname?
Howlett.
Howlett, yes.
Yeah, did you want to pick up on this one, Tone?
No, you go for it, mate. Sorry, I can't see any questions. As the questions come up, I can't see anything. Sorry.
So about Rock Union. So yeah, there's a guy from Hull, and he's pretty much created this rock scene on his own, sort of promoting rock gigs of all genres, really, up in that area, and he's kind of wanting to sort of spread it around the north of England. And we picked up on that last year, didn't we? And we went up and did two gigs. And they went down really well. The first one, especially at a place called the New Clarence. We played our own headline gig, and the guys there, the crowd was really sort of knowledgeable, proper rock fans, weren't they? And we just went down really well, and we were selling, plenty of CDs. After we'd finished the gig, people were hanging around to chat to us, and it just felt like, the audience was sort of very knowledgeable and really, really encouraging of what we were doing. And every other week there was a different band. So yeah, they're really trying to create a scene up there, aren't they? So yeah, all the best to them. Rock and roll.
Oh yes. Now Matt has been onto the show as well. He's actually a co-host when he's got time. He comes on here and discuss what's happening in Hull and the bands he's with and where he's playing as well, and what bands he's looking forward to seeing playing there in Hull. So yeah, he's also somebody that's doing it for the love of the music
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
promoting indie bands.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's great actually to get a connection with people that do put a lot into music, and to make sure that other bands and artists have got an opportunity to know about it and have opportunity to play like he's doing, and for the likes of yourselves with your media. So it's a massive bonus, and real help for
Oh
for
yes.
uh, for the independent bands and obviously the artists and things. And we love we love just communicating and and being involved with it really, and gives us opportunity to do what we do, and that's which is to play.
Oh yes. Carrie said, Tony and Rob, it's amazing that you guys are getting out there and doing what you love.
Yeah, it is. And I've seen a comment before about her choice of food. It looked quite good. It was something to do with chips and cheese, which I like as well.
Well,
Yeah, we love doing what we're doing, don't we? It's kind of it's an outlet. We all work. We all go to work, and the sort of 9 to 5 routine or whatever, and to get home and do what you want to do, and then not. I've got too many other friends who do what we do. We get out there and do it, and we drive all over the country to get to the gigs. We put a lot of effort in. But the rewards are there because we enjoy making the music and playing the music, don't we? So
mhm.
and we have to laugh with it because we're all we didn't know each other, before we started the sort of the band. Myself and Tony played in a band called the Serpent Motors, and then Vince joined us after a few other members, and we kind of then sort of formed into Rebel Troubadour, and we've become sort of firm friends, and I think that that helps with the band. Because now we're quite tight. We're good friends, and we want to make it work. Sometimes you can be in a band where you kind of people have got different objectives. Some people don't like practicing or whatever, or it just you want to kind of sort of throttle them. And with Rebel Troubadour, it's kind of we're all on the same hymn sheet. If that's a saying, we all want the same thing, so we kind of it works really well. So
I think we've been together. Me and Rob first met 5 years ago within the Serpent Motors, and Vince joined Vince before. So we've been together 4 years, and me and Rob 5 years. So time just flies. It only seems like yesterday when I was sort of making sure I had a guitar pick in my pocket. Heading up to the rehearsal room.
Guitar pick. I always lose my guitar picks. I think I had about 30. I was down to my last guitar pick for the gig last week. I was looking around for them. I thought, where did they go? There must be like a gremlin that steals your guitar picks.
There's another question from Kerry. I do like gravy with chips and cheese as well, Kerry, with that Canadian dish. I forgot about the gravy. But Rob, would we say that we're planning to collaborate with other bands?
Oh, right. That's interesting. We would invite sort of other people possibly to guest on recording. So the first album we did, Rebel Troubadour, we did this sort of song in a very sort of, I think it was sort of like a Clash meets the Police style staycation. And we had a lady called Tierney come along. We invited her on. She played saxophone on it. And it was fantastic. So it's nice to collaborate with other musicians. And we have invited a guy out of another band if he wants to come along sometime. Simon from Before They're Hanged. If there's an open invitation for him to come and play. So yeah, we're happy for other people to come and have a go, maybe, or if they can add something to a recording. Yeah, we're possibly thinking of recording, maybe if we can, with a guy called Bobbles, who used to be in the band, in the old Serpent Motors band. He records his own stuff. He's got his own studio, but he's a very multi-talented sort of musician, drummer, bass player, pianist. He's a good piano player and keyboard player. So we think, it'd be nice to have sort of maybe keyboards on a couple of tracks when we record next. Yeah, so we're kind of open to that. If it fits the song, we're open to that sort of collaboration, are we, Tom?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've not personally had any messages, unless you have recently, from sort of AC/DC or anyone from.
Yeah, I thought I have invited Angus to play on the next album. I think he's busy at the moment. But
guys, any invites to do a show with the Soap Girls?
With the subs?
The Soap Girls.
Soap Girls. I'm not wearing those. I'm gonna have to Google that. I don't think I'm Soap Girls. Tony, you know all that girls, don't you? But
is that the name? Say the name again. Sorry.
It's the Soap Girls.
The Sub Ghosts.
Yes.
No, Soap Girls. I'm googling it now.
That's the band's name.
Right. Sorry, we're just breaking up a bit.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've just googled them. Wow. Yeah, we play with those guys. Yeah.
I'll go on.
Tell me what they're all about.
I'll go on Rob's recommendation. Yeah, we'll play.
That's them, Tone.
Yeah, I think I've got. Yeah, I think I've got spare time in my diary.
Yeah, I was talking to you last night. Actually, I do remember now. Yeah. Dark. What's happened? Still gone dark in here.
So, there you go. The lights back on.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the Sub Girls stuff. I've seen, and that's why I'm asking: are you guys up to doing a concert with them, sharing a stage with them?
Yes.
I think it worked well.
Well, especially after the gig, our dressing room. Are they sort of a rock band or a punk band, or they sort of just like to go on stage wearing not a lot? Yeah. I'll have a listen to those afterwards. Yeah, have a listen to that. It's always nice to listen to new bands. I mean, being serious for a minute, it's great to when you find new bands to listen to. So we've got a local festival, quite a big festival called Why Not Festival in the Peak District. So this year we had Royal Blood playing. It's the first time I've seen those guys, and they were excellent. Really good band. So I don't know if you're aware of those, Bassan.
Yes, they are a good band, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean the guy's such a brilliant sort of bass player. He plays it like a guitar, and he's a fantastic drummer as well. Really good.
Oh, for sure. Like I told Tony earlier before you came, I'm happy about the talent that's coming through from the UK, and actually the indie music. I've found so many great bands and artists from the UK that's actually should just stand back and say, wow, these guys are actually amazing. These artist is actually brilliant, and that's why I say I wouldn't go back to listen to the mainstream music anymore. There's so much indie stuff out there, and great indie stuff.
Yeah, there is, absolutely. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think mainstream radio are not really representing the music that's out there. So we get sort of BBC radio, Radio 2 and Radio 1, and it's kind of, it's all very safe on the radio. The big corporations like the Beeb want to play, and I think there's a lot more music out there that doesn't really get the airtime it deserves. Be sure it's been the same thing, radio friendly stuff, and that's what they play. So yeah.
Well, for me, if you go and see an indie artist, where else can you say? You go up to the artist and say, after you've done, listen, if you've still got some of your CD or merch stuff left here, yes, can I get 2 of those albums signed, please? You'll get it signed. You can buy it there directly from the artist, you get it signed, and it's something that you remember. You've gone to this gig, better artist, bought 2 albums there, and it stays with you. You go to these big gigs and you try and buy an album there and get it signed from some of these artists, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's a nice personal thing as well, isn't it, Basjan? You sort of, when you're that close and you're there watching and you buy something, and if you're in a position to get, face to face with the musicians and the band, and that little extra sort of signature, that little something is like, give that extra to the But
definitely.
Yeah.
And for me and Ell, every Monday we do the podcast. We remind people, if it's a female artist, behave like it's a guy. Be respectful. Don't be a dick. And because you're going to get hurt. These female artists got lots of fans and stuff.
Yeah.
If you act inappropriately, you're going to be thrown out of the club. Behave. Act like a gentleman. Greet the artist and buy the merch and say thank you. Just like so for me, I'm all for there should be no discrimination between male and female artists.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The sort of bills that we play, when we play a sort of rock bill or a punk bill, the fans are very respectful because everybody's sort of into the same scene, and you don't get any of that at all. Maybe if it was sort of playing in the middle of town and it's sort of a mixed sort of group of people who are just nightclubbing and just in there drinking, maybe you can. It's the same everywhere. But when you're playing to a proper rock crowd or a punk crowd, there's lots of respect there, for the artists and the fans, and it's very rare that you get any trouble whatsoever, as it's own. We sort of just respect, and people like the fact that you're playing your own stuff as well. So you always get a good sort of round of applause, and even if something goes wrong, you play a few bum notes or something goes wrong, you don't get any bad sort of feedback whatsoever. So yeah, total respect. I think that's just rock fans and punk fans in general.
Yes, I found it as well, and I appreciate you playing your own stuff. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's one stage I remember a lot of people were doing covers, and you actually battled to find decent original music, but places have opened and there's still people doing covers. I've got nothing against covers, but I like original music. I want to find out what's the talent scope of the artist. If he writes his own music, how does he perform it? How does he interpret it? And that's what I want to see from the artist.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely. Because the beauty of it is everyone's their own style, and their own way that music comes out of them will make them, you know, perform it the way that they perform it. And it's nice to see the different performances from from each band, each indie band. That's one of the
the gig scheme seems to be picking up a bit. Just after COVID, when lockdown ended, I did find it was harder to get the gigs, and there were less people coming out. I think people were sort of scared of mixing to start off with at the end of COVID, and we're kind of we've got this year, and I think people are more open. People are going out more, and there's more gigs on. There's more opportunities now, so it's good that things are opening up again. I feel, but there was that little period afterwards where I feel like pubs and venues really wanted to sort of put too many gigs on because people weren't coming out, so they were kind of probably on a loser in terms of financially. But I think I don't know what it's like in South Africa where people are sort of back out and about as normal, and you don't see anyone wearing the masks anymore for sure. So.
Yeah, we're back basically back. We've got a metal festival in Africa that's going to be the southern one. We're bands from Botswana, Swaziland or Itweni, Namibia, further up, rock and metal bands playing. You wouldn't believe like a country like Botswana has actually got a rock metal band, 5 black dudes playing hard rock metal.
Oh wow!
And I just love it. These guys are amazing.
Fantastic.
And they've been here in South Africa, and I've seen them. They've actually played in the States as well. They've been invited to play in one of the festivals in the States. So they're doing well, and I'm happy for them because they're original. They're playing original music, and it shows you play original music, you can get noticed. And I think that's the big advantage for indie artists. You get noticed. And like I said, you always have to be prepared because tomorrow, early in the morning, you can get a phone call from somebody in Nashville. Hey, listen, this band is cancelled for this weekend. Are you guys up to fly and fill up a stadium? We're playing 60,000 people. Got to jump on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
we'd like to play. We should play Nashville, shouldn't we, Tony? I think. Yeah. That's like Johnny Cash country? I think Nashville.
Yes, that's the country, but also Southern Rock. Also Southern Rock, huge Southern Rock thing.
I do like a bit of Southern Rock. I mean, I've always liked ZZ Top and Blackberry Smoke. For those guys,
yes. Blackberry Smoke is fantastic. Personally, though, one of the bands I like. Then Kerry's made a comment. Rob, Tony, I prefer independent artists lately. Anyways, because you're not censored like the signed artists. That's special. And I agree with it. Not only you're not censored, but you guys can actually deliver. If you feel like a song can be 15, 20 minutes long, nothing stopping you from doing a 15, 20-minute song.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
We're working on one called Wild Dogs, and when we go into the practice room, we kind of that's the one song that we kind of play. We just sort of end up jamming on it. So there's no particular end structure to the song so far, and we sort of play the chorus twice, and then we get to sort of like a bridge where we kind of Tony does a fantastic little bass solo, and we kind of play like a bit of a stuttery sort of guitar. Tony will play the bass, and then Vince will come in with the drums, and we can kind of play it over and over again, and it's almost like a bit hypnotic, isn't it? And we kind of Yeah, if we were going to do a 15-minute song, that'd probably be the one, wouldn't it, Tone?
Yeah, it's like, I suppose it's like being on it, and you're riding with it, and you don't want to get off because you just keep playing it, and it's got that hypnotic sort of groove. You know, there's a feeling about it where you sort of like, it doesn't feel as if it wants to stop or needs to stop, but you got to stop somewhere. But I think it's going to be probably a little bit longer than some of the others that we do when we do put it all together. But it's it'd be good to get that recorded, and which, like I say, we've got enough material probably by the end of this year or start next year, to look at an EP again. And
that's awesome.
The new tracks, we'll try and play those tracks if we can. If we feel that we want to put one or two in, there's one called Elevator, which is a good catchy number there. Again, it's sort of on the Facebook page, and it's not recorded as of yet, you know, on an EP or on an album, but it gives you an idea of what that particular song is. Especially Wild Dogs is on there. I think there's quite a lot, because we tend to record ourselves within the rehearsal studio, and then, you know, put a little bit out there just to let people know what we're doing, what ideas are formulating, how we're creating things again, and just a little taster for what is going to be coming up. And yeah, it's really exciting, because we've had a lot of time apart this year, because that was the first time we played at the weekend there. We've got together probably 3 times to rehearse, because Vince obviously has moved out of area with his commitments, and but we're always sort of in communication. But we're always good when we're together, because we sort of are quite tight. So even though we've not been together for a long time, we could get together. It's as if we've been practicing each week. It's just something that we've got sort of quite good between us, really, which saves a lot of time as well. I think it's the eagerness to play again and to get together, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, it's like riding a bike. You don't tend to forget it. You sort of straight into it again.
Yes, Gary, awesome, because you said so. We agree with you. We're not arguing with you. Not arguing with you, Gary.
Yeah, and we've got some you know, some fast moving gigs with this new promoter that Rob's been in communication with. As we say, we've got some lined up for next year, which is all exciting again. A good possible 3, and that's how we want to do it. You want to have a good amount of gigs at the back end, mid to back end of this year, knowing what you're going to be doing next year. With the law of averages, 1 or 2 might alter, 1 or 2 might change. We might, you know, something might happen, but it's about that we're getting ready to play these new songs and get back in the recording studio and get them recorded on a new EP or album, and then, play them again with some of the old numbers that people like as well. So we got some good feedback off people again at the weekend there on the tracks we played in Sheffield. So was pleased. Yeah, it's great to get that little bit of feedback. They come up, really like the song, love that one, you know, and that, like as I said before, that's really all I want. Really, it's nice to see people enjoying themselves, and you know, and seeing something different if they've not seen it before.
Any chance of putting some live songs on the EP or album when you put it out?
I think there is one. As I was saying, we looked at a couple of acoustic options with a couple of our tracks. One was Walking Dead. I think that might be on the. Is that on the EP, or is it a separate live one, Rob?
That's on the. It's only on the Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
EP. Yeah, so it was too late on Spotify, but if you want to hear, Walking Dead acoustic, and it's recorded. It's a really good quality, isn't it? So we did it in one take.
Awesome.
We were really pleased with that. It's like a really sort of gentle version of Walking Dead, which is quite a sort of an atom sort of rock song, you know. And then we kind of we did it as a gentle acoustic, and it worked well, didn't it? So yeah.
Yeah. Is that a question from Kerry again? How many albums do we have so far? We've got one album, Kerry. It's a self-titled album called Rebel Troubadour, which is on all the platforms. So if you went on there for a search, you could find that. And we've done an EP called Jackhammer last year, both recorded in Sheffield, in Yorkshire. Jackhammer, we squeezed on a couple of extra ones as well. As it was an EP, it was going to be a little bit shorter than the album, because the album that we done was a 10-track album of Rebel Troubadour. So there's 10 tracks on there. And the EP, I think, has got about 6, is it, Rob? Or did we squeeze 7 on?
I think there was, there were 4 tracks, a second mix of Sunday morning. So we did a track, of course, Sunday morning with one with keyboards on and one without keyboards. And then we did two live tracks that we recorded in this just really rough and ready, but we put them on there. And then we put Staycation back from the previous album, which is just such a good track that we thought we'd put it back on the new EP. So yeah. I mean, we have done just me and Tony have done stuff before. The previous incarnation was called Serpent Motors. And we have got a sort of on Bandcamp. We've got a live studio session, Serpent Motors, with myself and Tony on, with some of the tracks on there that we actually play with Rebel Troubadour. So I think Walking Dead's on there, and Refugee, and Sweet as a Girl, one or two others. So they kind of morphed into songs that we ended up, playing as Rebel Troubadour. So
Well, Kerry just said after this live podcast, she's going to buy your album from your website.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you, Kerry. I hope you enjoy it. I'm sure you will.
Bandcamp, or it's on Amazon as well. So Bandcamp or Amazon, the best place to go.
Yes, the album's called Rebel Troubadour. It's self-titled after the group's name, and the other EP, if you're interested in the new tracks, is called Jackhammer, and that's like a guerrilla using a jackhammer instrument that you would use in the street. Yeah,
which we got a couple of independent artists to do the artwork, so it's kind of that's the whole sort of DIY thing as well. So the first album we got a street artist guy from Derby who did this fantastic little sort of a picture of a sort of almost like a battered old van, like a tour van with all the guitars and the drums on top and everything. And he kind of did a really fantastic sketch and coloured it up, and we used that for the album cover. And then the second one for Jackhammer, it was my son's friend at school. She's only 17. She's going on to art college. And I told her, we've got this album called EP called Jackhammer. I've got this idea where I can see like a sort of a gorilla with a sledgehammer or a jackhammer or something. And she came back with this wonderful artwork. So yeah, DIY stuff that we've used on the album. So we're very pleased with that. That's all up to the
Oh, that's awesome. That's all. That's how you independent artists and helping each other and creating opportunities for each other. That's fantastic, and that's how it should work.
Yeah, I think that's great. She really put her heart and soul into it and came up with several ideas. She came back and I'd kind of said, "Oh, can you do it a little bit like this?" But and wonderful artwork for both the album and the EP. So yeah, the process, it involves. It's probably not just the three of us sort of playing. You got to go to the studio, get the rights for the studio with the right producer. This time we went to a place called Two Fly Studios, and it was a guy who produced Arctic Monkeys' first album. And he worked very well, and he seemed to understand what we wanted straight away. So when we'd recorded the tracks, there were very few changes to make. He instinctively knew the sound we were trying to get, which was great. So yeah, all that sort of process, and then you've got the you need the promoters as well. Sometimes we can get our own gigs, other times we use a promoter. So yeah, it's everybody, like say, gelling together. It's all sort of DIY, but everybody's helping each other, which is one of the fun parts of the scene. So you're not just meeting other other bands. You're meeting sort of promoters and artists and producers, which is great, and you build up that network. Go back to them time and again. Oftentimes you become friends as well. So yeah, it's good. Good.
Any chance of you guys touring Sutherland in the next few months?
Sunderland. Yeah, if we get the opportunity, if there's we would love to get opportunities to play. Yeah, we can have a look at what.
That's where else is that? Where else from Sunderland?
Oh, Alice from Newcastle, yes, in Sutherland.
Yeah, well, we played, didn't we? Was it last year or the year before up at the
Sunderland? We see now a lot of practicing.
I think we was up that neck of the woods. I think we was up we was up that area. Was it a couple of years ago, Rob? Was it at the Bull?
Yeah.
Gateshead.
Yeah, the Black Bull.
Black Bull. Yeah.
Yes.
That was a really good venue. That one with the
yes.
punk venue.
Al told me about that, so I'm just see if you can go play. I know you're going to meet Matt at Springback Tavern. Al, if you in Newcastle, Sutherland area, you're over there. But it's a bit far for now for me. So, but yeah.
So whereabouts are you, Basjan? So you're in South Africa. What city are you in?
Gauteng. I'm actually in Krugersdorp. It's in the northern parts of South Africa, the northern province, where it's nice and hot, and you get lots of rain.
Oh, really?
We're near Buxton. We get more rain than you.
Yes, and
yeah, we have a lot in common then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But see, I've got the lions as neighbors, so I'm not far from the game reserve, so I can hear the lions and stuff.
We've got foxes.
Oh,
a few road cats and dogs.
Oh, shit. Are you still allowed to hunt foxes there in the UK, or is it outlawed?
Yeah, it's outlawed. I think there's a certain part of the establishment that wants to bring it back. So yeah, it's a case of watch this space, but it's outlawed. Oh, that's one of it. It's outlawed. It's outlawed at the moment, but it may come back. I don't know.
Foxes are so small. How can you hunt them?
It's what? Sorry.
They're so small. Yeah.
There's not much hunting really. I mean, there's they have a deer cull in Scotland with the red deer, because there's millions of red deer up there.
Yeah.
Lots of damage, to new forestry operations, because they just eat everything. So I suppose that they're the biggest things that people hunt, I suppose.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but not like you guys, with lions and tigers and
they're peaceful. I don't mind them as long as they live in the wild and they're peaceful. The deer and stuff you hunt only if you need food. But I'm not somebody that goes hunting just for hunting. I've been taught you do it if you need food or something. Otherwise, you let the animal live.
Yeah, God, these trophy hunter guys. I mean, I personally think it's disgusting trophy hunting. It's God. Yeah, just paying to kill a wild animal for no gain at all, apart from cut its head off and put it on your wall.
Yes.
What's the point in that?
What's the point? That's true. That's true. Oh, what is also the Black Bull Gates in Bull Gates 2021? That's where he was.
That was it. Yeah, it was a great day actually. Really good. Really good gig.
Yes.
There was great sound, good back line, and some great bands on there. I think one of them had a bit of chart success. Good 70s or 80s. I think Rob would remember the name now. It's just crossed my memory. But they,
yes.
yeah, they were really good and come up and said hello to us, and again liked what we play, which is nice of them. Which we we like to do with other bands, and we tend to get a lot ourselves. But yeah, it was a nice, good venue. Very nostalgic as well on the room set. It was going back in time on certain parts of it, so it had everything memorabilia from different sort of objects and bikes and everything. It was pretty nice setup in there. Yeah, give a good vibe. But yeah, definitely it'd be great to play there again. That's good.
Oh yes. I wonder if Al bought some CDs or some merch from you guys when he was there.
Who's that? Sorry.
Al Young, Project Metal. Al, if you bought some, yes.
Yeah, I think we've sold a few CDs, and yeah, we probably need to probably be a little bit better with the merchandise. We have got CDs from the first album, and we've sold most of those physical CDs.
Yes.
With the EP, we would just sort of put it on Spotify and Amazon. We've not got a physical CD to sell, so you can download it obviously as an MP3. But we are going to get some sort of physical CDs out, I think, for people to buy. It'd be nice to do some T-shirts. I mean, we've got our own band T-shirts that we wear, but it might be good merchandising to have some sort of made up cheap that we can sell at gigs for £4 or £5, something like that. It's just getting the name out. Well, however you can get the name out, that's the main thing. So whether it's be sort of radio play or doing an interview like this or whatever, or like Ell's sort of reviewed the albums, the album and the EP. So yeah, anything sort of commercially, try and sort of let people know that you're there. And there's this band called Rebel Troubadour. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or X or whatever Elon Musk calls it at the moment. So we try and be visible. Well, there's a million other bands, all trying to be visible at the same time. But yeah, I think the best thing you can do, probably from our point of view, is actually getting on the gig circuit and doing the gigs, and the promoters and people picking up saying, oh, these guys, they play a good gig, reliable, they turn up. So yeah, I think building it up from a grassroots level is the way to do it. I mean, it'd be great if we had a song on the radio and somebody picked it up and it went viral. Then that'd be fantastic. So yeah, I think the biggest one we've had was Staycation, which got picked up by a station in London, and they actually they played it all summer a couple of years ago. I think it was one of their top 10 played tracks. So they were playing it every single day, which is fantastic, from our point of view. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, look, I think it's true what I say. If a band works hard and they keep doing the hard work, they'll get noticed and they build up a solid base of fans and stuff like that. Because the fans notice the bands that's doing their share and showing up for gigs and not unnecessarily cancelling gigs, but actually are the working, what they call a working man's band. They actually go and work do the hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it is about what you do, isn't it? As a band, you be creative, you write, you get together, you rehearse, you play, you have a look at your merch. The merch is something, like Rob says, that we need a bit more on that side of it, as we're obviously have your personal sort of lives and work as well. So you're trying to fit things in, but it's nice to get an idea into and to implement it. So it's just a case of just having a look at that situation, and then having a little order of the t-shirts. It's always nice. Other little things, badges and things like that, memorabilia, really, I think, for people. Oh, there's the first album there.
Wow.
And that was the artwork that Rob was talking about from
that's amazing. I love the artwork on
it. Like the van with all our kit on, going over the hills, the peaks, and heading off.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, there's another note come from Kerry, is it? That she'd highly recommend you guys have the merch for the band. Yeah, that's great. Only unfortunate thing about being independent is that you have to take care of all those things.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Kerry. And there's only 24 hours in the day, and we hopefully we'll be getting those things in place. It'd be nice to take a little bit to the gigs and the venues that we go to. We do go with 3 anyway, 3 t-shirts. They're the ones that we're wearing, so at least we've got something there at the minute.
Oh yes.
This is the new artwork with the gorilla. I don't know if you can see that.
That one I've seen, and it's actually brilliantly done. I like it. That is fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so the lady who did it, she's only 17, and fantastic. So
wow.
She might do another one for us.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
So what bands do you get coming to South Africa, Basjan? Do you get any of the sort of big sort of rock, European or American rock bands coming down that way?
We had American rock bands. We had Midnight Oil. They were we had Hollies. They were but the independent bands. Basically, it's neighboring countries that's coming. We had bands from Brazil stopping by. Cuban bands are coming here and playing. So we're actually getting bands and Australian bands and stuff because we're not far from Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
So we're in the southern hemisphere. So we tend to get them. I wish more European indie bands would actually come out and come and play, and especially Mexican and bands from Peru that we've actually heard. So I've got a lot of South American and Latin American music bands that I've listened for the last couple of years and stuff from. They're amazing, and that's why I say actually I hope things starting to get through.
Oh, fantastic. Very wide selection there.
Yeah. Any particular bands that you'd kind of recommend that you listen to?
Well, for me, it's a horror British band called Ward 16. I don't know if you guys heard it. It's this crazy lady. She's actually in the asylum. She's supposedly locked up, and she's the female lead singer of the band. They're pretty good. In New Zealand, New Zealand has got some hard rock bands. That's fantastic. I like punk music, punk rock, melodic punk music, garage punk rock, all genres of punk rock I actually enjoy. And
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan.
I like the Chats. I think they're very good. Australia and Ell and the Sniffers. I think they're an excellent band. Yeah. So there's a big sort of garage rock sort of punk scene in Australia at the moment. Yeah, producing some very good bands. Yeah.
Oh yes, Australia is. And then I found a band that I featured as my artist a couple of weeks ago. Stratus, they're from Caracas, Venezuela. They're called
Venezuela.
All right.
Yeah, Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Check some of those out, won't we? Yeah. It's always good to hear new music, and you can kind of spark something in your own songwriting to do something different as well.
Yeah. Oh yes, and they're touring South America. They've gone down to Chile, Argentina. They plan to tour the USA, later on Mexico, and they're very good bands. And for me, like I said, I wish these bands will actually stay indie, because the moment you sell to these big record companies, you're going to be forced to deliver so many albums, and you've got virtually zero say in the writing of your music. Somebody's going to take it, and they can tune it.
I think that's what happened with we were mentioning Oasis. Okay, they're not a metal band or anything, but their first album was indie. Second one partly indie, and then obviously the record companies got hold of them, and then everything they did after that was, to me, was very, very bland, and they just lost the spark. So I think that's a good sort of example of what happens when a good indie band gets taken over by the record company.
Oh yes, guys. Alice got a question for you guys. He wants to know if you considered trying to get your music either on a film, TV soundtrack, or a computer game.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we go. How do you go about getting it on a computer game? I think that is, maybe if we could work out how to do that. I mean, that'd be fantastic. I think with the track Staycation could definitely go on a movie or anything. It's one track. It's the outstanding track that we've done, I think. So yeah, we'd love to. I'll have to research that. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I think there's a good few energy fast ones that we do. I mean, like they could be involved with possible game or possible movie, things like the Jackhammer and the Walking Dead and things like that. The video that was created for Walking Dead, which is on YouTube, has got a lot of animation, a lot of things happening, speed, trains, people moving, things like that. So it sort of gels in to the imagination of what picture it's what is actually involved as an object or objects, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's a great idea. I'm sure there's
zombie video game about zombies or we should do a video.
There's lots of zombie games out. So guys, if you're looking for, I've got a zombie game, you're looking for good music, contact Rebel Troubadour. They'll provide you with the music.
That's the one. Zombie,
yeah. And also, if you also if you catch us early enough when we get out of bed in the morning, we actually look like the zombies. So that we do everything there.
It's like me before having my first cup of coffee in the morning. Definitely a zombie. Not nice person.
But hopefully my arms or legs hadn't fallen off yet, so I'm quite pleased about that.
Same here. Same here.
It's just when you pick your cup of tea, off, and that's when it goes. Like, use your other hand.
But he's harmless, really.
Yeah.
talking about yes, YouTube channel. Robert Alice put your YouTube channel in the chat, and there people can subscribe to you and like you. So thanks, Al, for putting it in. So please, guys, subscribe and like Rebel Troubadour and support you guys, please.
Nice one, everybody.
Yeah, rock and roll. Yeah, the more the merrier. If more people that hear our music, the better, and that's what we're doing it for. So yeah.
It's just nice to actually talk to people like yourself, and obviously people interacting there who are in different countries, who who listen to it and support the independent bands. So it's nice actually to meet people that are anywhere in the globe, and just to say thank you really for listening.
I mean, that's part of the enjoyment, because I know I've done listened to bands from Japan, South Korea, Norway, Sweden, Finland, the Scandinavian countries, even a band from Iran, a metal band from Iran. Can you believe it?
Wow. Brilliant.
Although they're not living in Iran anymore, needless to say, but yes, they were from Iran before they had to get out.
Not living in Iran anymore because they ran away.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, look, like I said, music is the universal language, and that's something with all this kind of music and so many people listening to music. We should actually have a music fan club somewhere. Post the music, post your bands.
And it doesn't matter if it's like I was saying earlier. I saw this Spanish heavy metal band in the Canary Islands, or if it's even if it's a different language and you don't understand what they're singing about, you can still get a feel for the music.
Oh yes.
Quite a fan of Rammstein, and I have no idea what they're singing about, but it's kind of it's good, it's just music.
Yes.
So yeah, it's like say it's a universal language. So everybody understands it. Everyone understands guitar, bass, and drums. So yeah.
For sure. Tell me, just for interest sake, when you go for a gig, do you set up? How long does it normally take for you to set up your guitars, your instruments and stuff? Do you do it yourself, or you've got other people setting it up for you?
No, I do mine myself. I think we all do
it. It went wrong at the gig because my guitar, I've got a strap lock on my guitar on the bottom of the guitar, and it broke. And I basically lost it at the practice studio. I turned up at the gig and I couldn't use the guitar because I couldn't put the strap on. I had to borrow a guitar off one of the other bands, which some guy kindly lent me a guitar. So a nice Les Paul, but it was odd because it was different, slightly smaller. The frets were a bit closer, different string gauges. So. Yeah, not what you want just to go on stage. Yeah, but it shows how bands help each other out. The fact that straight away when it was obvious that I couldn't use the guitar, I had two guys from two different bands come up offering me a guitar. So that was good. So we played and it was.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to make sure just have your basic things with your tuner and your plectrums, your picks, everything's just there. Few set list, few little reminders on the words if it's a new one on the floor, so you can just have a glance if it's a new song, whichever. But it's always that initial, what's the sound going to be like, and if you can get the good equipment and good backline and the good sound, because it was a really good sound at the weekend. that we had, and we had a couple of recordings that were taken, which were passed back to us, and Rob's uploaded them onto the Facebook page now, so you can see a couple of clips there from Saturday night that we played at, and yeah, we could tell it was sounding good, but when you're listening to it from a crowd point of view, you can then see and you know, hear what you're playing and think, actually, yeah, you know, there's just it's gone really well. But
awesome.
Yeah, but
just tell me, for interest's sake, I've heard that musicians, before they go on stage, they need to have a few pints of beer to calm down the nerves and stuff. Is that true or not?
I generally, if I'm going to have one, I'll have one. I used to have cola, water,
Oh, yes.
but if I'm going to have one, two, maybe maximum, generally one, just sort of, you know, because it's a nice ale that they've got on. I want to try it, but yeah.
I mean, I try and have 7 pints of beer, a bottle of whiskey, and 2 bottles of wine before I go on. That's usually, you know, I can't.
Whoa!
That's just for breakfast, isn't it?
Yeah, just for breakfast.
Just for breakfast. Oh boy!
I'm saying, but yeah, I like to have 1 pint before I go on. Just 1 pint of beer, and then when you've sort of finished, you can kind of, you know, have a couple of beers or a whiskey, whatever, afterwards when you finish. But yeah, it's always nice to just have a little drink before you go on, but not too much, because yeah, you can end up going a bit wrong if you have too much. So. Yeah, I played a gig once years ago, and we were on really late at night, and there was nothing to do, and I wasn't driving, and I ended up having about half a bottle of whiskey. I didn't know where I was by the time I was playing. I think the gig went all right. I can't remember anything about it. Just sort of stumbling around stage trying to stand up. Yeah, maybe I won't do that.
I understand, because I know for your voice, especially if you're a singer or stuff like that, your throat and stuff, you get dry. So want to find out what people are drinking, maybe beer, low alcohol beer, or ale or something, cola.
Yeah, like you say, just something to lubricate the voice, basically, because you can get dry, you can get very hot and sweaty as well. So just to help him with a bit of dehydration. But yeah, for me, it's generally sort of a cola, water, or a beer. But it's just something there to hand if you know, because on the stage, as well as rooms can be sort of not as ventilated as much. The lighting on the stage is probably where it gets very hot.
Yes.
And you can feel the intensity of the heat from the light sometimes, as well as your energy, sort of, you know. But yeah,
we played an outdoor festival. Myself and Tony, as the Serpent Motors, back 5 years ago now, and it was probably about 32 degrees, which for us Brits is pretty hot. And the video, we've got a great live video, but we kind of, I think it was Tony who brought like 2 liters of water, didn't you? And between songs, we're kind of passing the water around between us. we were quite dehydrated, weren't we? It was so hot.
Oh.
So yeah,
lots
bad.
We definitely didn't have a beer before that one, did we?
Yeah, there was lots of people in front of us enjoying it, and it was absolutely busy as anything. But they had lots of beers on their tables, didn't they?
Beers do help.
Yeah,
beers do help. And I'd like to find some stuff out that musicians do and don't do behind the scenes and stuff like that. Just to have an informal chat, because I know some of the people want to know, but they're too afraid to ask about the beer stuff and other stuff, setup of the instruments before gigs and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the from the band's point of view, preparing for the gig, is it? Sorry, Basjan.
Mm-hmm.
Is it preparation for the gig? What we would?
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of as we said, the drink side of it and so forth, it's quite minimal. But I think Rob likes. I think you do like to get your amp set up, all the sound when we're at rehearsal, don't you? That's obviously vital to his sound of the guitar. I generally may or may not need an amp. I just be a plug-in, and they will deal with that like we did at the weekend. So it saves me. Otherwise, I'd be taking my amp and I'd be using it in rehearsal and getting that sort of how I want it. Yeah, but anything from food, just make sure I've got something to eat if I can do, probably a couple of hours before, because I've always missed something. I have missed before not eating, and you all of a sudden it hits you when you start to play.
That's bad.
Feel a little bit, but yeah, just generally making sure you've got everything. I just keep it simple, sort of as I can, really, and the excitement builds up, and you know that you're going to be going to the gig, you're going to be meeting other people as well, which is great, watching them play, and then sort of preparing to go on, and it becomes second nature. It's just like an excitement, sort of knowing what we're going to do, on the stage, and your rehearsals pay off, and your practicing pays off, of course, because you just sort of like getting each song, and at the end of it, you're satisfied, and you're going into it to enjoy it, which is what it's all about. We do enjoy it a lot, and yeah. I mean, generally, in terms of sort of the music shops, I love music shops when I get a chance to go into them. I just love seeing all sorts of instruments. I do like drums.
Awesome.
I like drums as well. That's a big love of mine. But I'm not a drummer. But I like to have a bash on the drums. If me and Rob are if we're in the rehearsal and Vince has not made it, we'll take turns trying to get a little bit of an attempt.
Tony's good on the drums. He's very good. You got a natural beat, haven't you? Well, if I'm on the drums, it's a bit like Animal off the Muppets, really. It kind of just goes all a bit pear-shaped. You were talking about sort of preparation for gigs. The live gig we were talking about, the festival one a few years ago, we had no preparation whatsoever, because we were supposed to be on at I think it was 2:00 in the afternoon, and at this place called Matlock Bass, and there was so much traffic, we couldn't get through the traffic, and we were stuck. I went to the car park literally about a mile away, and I had to carry my guitar and my amp. We're virtually running to the venue to try and get there, and I just managed to get there and get my guitar set up. No sound check whatsoever. And Tony will tell you in a minute, he was trying to come from a different car park in a different direction, dragging the drummer along by his ear. We virtually arrived on the stage, plugged in, and just played straight away, didn't we?
Yeah, it was just we were wading through the people, because it was like an open air event, and it was packed with people, and we're sort of barging people, we're on the stage, and the Rob was just sort of thinking, I'm going to be doing a one-man show in a minute, and all of a sudden he's seen our heads bobbing through the crowd, and he's like, oh, they're here,
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that it's worked out, but sometimes it happens like that. I want to know, what kind of guitar bass do you use?
What guitar? What? Sorry, Button.
What guitar bass do you use, or bass do you use?
The bass.
Yes.
Yeah. The bass is actually it belongs to Rob. Actually, is it the Fender?
Oh, it's a Fender.
Fender P bass. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fairly. it's good. It's good. Good guitar. We Fender make good guitars only and good bass. So
yeah, I mean that's the one that I've used since. I mean, I was the rhythm guitarist in the previous band, what we were together called the Serpent Motors, and we had a couple of members, drummer and bass player, that decided to go on and move on to other things. We was vocalist, stroke guitarist, so we were sort of from a 4-piece down to a 2-piece with like the click of a finger, and we had quite a good handful of gigs that were sort of coming up. And I said to Rob, sort of, and sometimes it's difficult with time to try and get somebody in to interview somebody, to get them into the rehearsal studios and get the right person in, and whether they like what you play and whether they can play it and so forth. So I just said to Rob, I says, bass player, says, but I'll have a look at the root note, and that would be suffice. He says, well, I've got a bass at home. I says, oh great, bring it in next time and I'll have a bash. I'll be at home and I'll have a look on my guitar. So he brought the bass in that following week, I think it was, and I never touched the bass before. So I went through one song, and Rob said, "It sounds quite good." That I says, "Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It sounds all right." So we went through each song to 10, and I said, "I think we got the new bass player." So within 2 weeks, I was playing for the first time on the first gig out of about 4 or 5. So in terms of the bass, I've just played it, and we do swap on a couple of occasions because Rob, he can play bass as well, and we swap on stage where I'll take his guitar and I'll play the rhythm or tunes on the guitar, and he'll be playing bass. So that sort of is our little bit of magic on stage where people think, what they're doing.
Oh, that's awesome that you can interchange between that, and wow,
yeah,
that's amazing.
We do draw the line at the drums because
interesting for us, isn't it? It's good. I like to go on the bass, and I just find it quite relaxing sort of thing. And normally, if I'm playing the bass, it's normally a song that Tony will be on the guitar and probably singing as well, so I can kind of a little bit sort of fade into the background a bit and sort of just enjoy playing and have a bit of a break. So we've got Staycation, Tony plays Staycation song, lovely little reggae riff that he's got there, and it works really well. And then we've got another track that Tony wrote called Motions on a Wheel, which again, great little sort of.
That's on the album. Yeah, both of those on the first album, aren't they?
Yeah. On Walking Dead, when we actually recorded it, we both did a rhythm guitar part. I played one sort of rhythm, and Tony did a slightly different sort of one, and it kind of blends and works quite well. So it's quite good.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, we'd like to have a new, some of the new ones. Have we got any others that you're playing guitar on? I think Vince's AC/DC type one, maybe. Or on that, and
I think. I think that's it. Yeah, it's good. It's a little interchangeable sort of thing that we do have if we are playing those songs. It didn't happen at the weekend where we just played. Because we didn't play those songs. We were going for our 10 that we chose, where we would keep on the instrument, that we were playing there. Which, but sometimes we'll interchange that. But going back to the original question. In terms of preparation and so forth, and sort of music interest, and like I do like to go into the music shops. I love music shops, and basically to see what all the instruments really, because there's always something fascinating that I just like to have a little go of. From tambourines to maracas to bongos, I like playing them all, sort of have a little bash, and it's great because you hear a lot of those songs in, you can bring them in if you wanted to bring something different in, especially as we're talking about the keyboards. I think keyboards are a massive influence for possibly, for an example, the Stranglers who would be, and the Cure would be using those keys, the sounds there within the layers of the songs. So I think if keyboards ever came into it, I think it'd give another feel to the songs that we're doing, because there's quite a few that that can come out which is like different, completely different. And then when you have got that song and you've got it and you're playing it for the first time, it's great to get a totally different feel.
Feel to the
To
song.
the song.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because people would be.
I think people can be really good in a band, and I think a lot of bands probably shy away from it. And maybe it's not a heavy metal thing as such, but you know, if you think back to bands like the Who, with lots of keyboards and sort of some of the Deep Purple stuff and Pink Floyd and whatever, you know, it works really well with rock stuff. But a lot of bands are very shy of using it. You know, it's got to be just got to be guitar. You know,
Nice.
It does give an extra dimension to the songs, I think, where you can use it.
Oh, yes, definitely. It does give an extra dimension. I suppose it depends on the band, how comfortable they feel using it, and how does the band feel about incorporating it, whether they rather stay without the keyboards than have it, bring it into the setup. I suppose it's all on whether the band members decide and agree upon it.
Yeah. We have a track that we've got on the new EP that we did last year called Sunday Morning. And that has, when that was recorded in the studios in Sheffield, two Fly, is it, Rob?
Yeah, two Fly Studios. Yeah,
Two Fly Studios. Vince had an idea. Song was sort of like it was bringing in a little bit sort of reggae with a little bit of touch of madness in there. It was just something that wasn't based on that, but we thought it sounded on those lines the way that it came out. And there was this little keyboard part of it that was quite sort of catchy and wacky, and you know, it sounded as if it was sort of trumpet based, and then it sounded as if it was something else. But when you listen to the song, it sort of makes you smile because it's a little bit completely different. And Vince, actually, in the recording studios when we were there, it was his turn to go through the keys. Me and Rob went out the studio over into a food shop and got a coffee and something to eat, and then came back, and Vince had already done his little magic on the keyboards. You know, the producer knew what he wanted, and he says, "Right, let's do it." We got it, and then he used that then to incorporate into the song. So yeah, that's called Sunday Morning. So the keys, if we ever were going to use that song, which we've played it before, of course, but we haven't had the keys in there. If we had a way of having our own small keyboard and somehow bringing that in at the right time, or even what would you do? Would you stop an instrument whilst that keyboard? I mean, the one who is playing that is actually Vince, but I suppose I could incorporate it. So there's all these things about you could get it in there somehow, apart from having somebody playing the keys, of course. But then it's a different level. But we have and the sax, obviously, which was played by Tyranny on the first album, which was in the studio. That's on Staycation. So these instruments coming in like saxophone and keys do give another dimension to the songs. Yeah, be definitely always open for trying to think about something, you know, apart from your guitars, drums, and anything that if the idea actually warrants anything, I suppose. From not that we've gone to levels of different instruments, but if your ideas there, ideas there, you know.
Yeah, I like harmonica. You know, if we could get
harmonica, yeah,
a bit of a sort of song going. Like earlier on, we were saying, but you know, I like the band Blackberry Smoke, and they sort of bring in some nice sort of boogie piano, and you know, they'll have somebody playing sort of harmonica and that sort of bluesy feel to a song. I think we'd love to do songs like that.
Yes.
And I think that's a good thing with the band we were saying earlier on. You know, we're not just sort of stuck rigidly to too firm a sort of template of, you know, playing in a certain way. We do give ourselves room for a maneuver to bring these instruments in and you know, make different sounds. You know, so yeah, so that's something to look forward to going forward. One thing we've not done yet, we played on Saturday, and there were a lot of, obviously, all heavy metal bands on Saturday playing quite thrash metal stuff, and that's kind of one genre we've not gone down. Sort of, we thought, I took it a bit. We thought we should do at least maybe 1-2 minute fast in and out thrash metal song, just, you know, just to add to the sort of the palette, different styles we've got. So yeah, maybe that's something we might look at. Yeah.
Give it a go. See how it goes. Pick the right song and give it a thrash metal go.
yeah, why not? Yeah, go for it. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So I think we, you know, in the styles that we do, we've got songs that sound like quite a few songs are a little bit sort of like the Ramones, a few sort of Clash influenced songs. We've got Jackhammer, which is 100% influenced by Motorhead. We've got other songs that got little bits of sort of AC/DC riffs in, you know, a little bit of sort of hammer on sort of Status Quo type stuff as well. And, you know, Tony's sort of worked on some sort of more maybe sort of stuff. You know, you like The Cure, don't you? And sort of
but I think in terms of I think it's coincidence, isn't it? Really, because we're not setting out to 100% say we're going to make a song that sounds like this particular group. I think what we do, we come up with an idea, it comes out, and then we go, oh, that actually sounds like them, or that could, you know, that could sound. I know there's Vince Vince will give a little bit of an indication of what he wants it to sound like as a genre or a group, and I mean, I tend to think that sounds are very inspirational. I look at it as an inspiration to think that, you know, you do like your groups, don't you, that you grew up with, and all the you know, what they've given into music, but somehow it's sort of like it can give a spark, and then all of a sudden something takes over with the idea that you then start to formulate these noises if you're playing it, or if you've got your lyrics. Because when I write, it's like they can come either way. I can have a melody, I can have an idea in my head without any lyrics. I'll then write the lyrics to the music, or I'll write the lyrics and then I'll put the music to it. Or we'll do it together in rehearsals. We'll have an idea and then we'll work off each other and think, yeah, putting the notes down and let's try this, let's try that. But yeah, it's I think the good news is the creativity gives us lots of options to how play what we want, you know, and that is in itself is nice to play and for people to listen to get something different. And you know, it's just great to sort of, I'm excited about these new songs that we've not even recorded yet, and to play them live. I think people will like them as well, because there's some good tunes there. So
I'm definitely looking forward to them.
Yeah,
because I've been following you, and like I see the band growing from one project to the next, and I'm really excited about the music, because I think
thank you.
You're not stuck to a certain, how could you put it? You're always looking for innovative new things and ways to do things. And I'm really, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing the new EP and seeing where you're performing and stuff like that, and looking at YouTube for music videos that you guys release, or somebody releasing a bit of a concert and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
No, thank you. Yeah, we can't wait to, you know, do it and put it out there for everyone to listen to. So it's all exciting stuff that we've got, and now we're really in the wheels are starting again on the gigging side. So we're getting out there. We've got We're keeping low, of course. You know, I mean, we have to check the bushes in the morning when we come out because paparazzi is sort of in there. I've spotted a camera the other day, and I think Vince. So I've got the blanket does come over when I'm going to my car to work, just in case, you know. Hear the shutter. All seriousness, we do enjoy it, and we can't wait for you to all hear it when it's all done. Yeah, but you know, it's an ongoing creative process of doing something that you love, I think. And
that's the important thing is do it for the love of music. Don't do it because it's a job or something. Do it for the love.
Yeah, and we love people listening to it and, you know, giving feedback and enjoying it. That's it. It's the two connecting, I think. Yeah. Which what galvanizes it and sets it in stone forever.
That's a good name for an album. That's a good name for an album. Now set in stone.
Yeah, there's an idea now coming in.
I'm gonna write that down.
Okay, guys, let's start wrapping it up, and so you guys can get back to doing your stuff. I know you still got proper jobs in the morning to get up to and to work. I hope before you bring out your new EP, you come back to us on Project Metal, and we do another podcast, and we discuss the future songs and stuff on there.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm just wishing you guys all the best with your gigs and stuff and writing the new material. And remember, you're welcome anytime here. Anytime.
Thank you very much, Basjan. It's been an absolute pleasure. Lovely speaking to you, and especially Kerry, who's been sending questions, and a big thanks to Ell Young as well, who's arranged this. But we can't wait to speak to you again.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Thanks so much, guys, for coming in and giving up your time. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. We enjoyed it. Okay.
Bye-bye. 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 All the best.
See you later, guys.
See you later. Hey,
God, that was absolutely brilliant, Basjan. I don't know about you, but that was absolutely amazing.
Just let it. It feels like I've done it many times before. That's all I say.
Yeah.
It's fun, guys, and fun to have Kerry and you there.
We're still live. It was still live on YouTube.
Oh, it's still live.
Many thanks to Rob and Tony of Rebel Troubadour for coming on. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on and being on for basically over 2 hours. It's been it's really interesting. And thank you, Curry. thank Curry for coming in and doing the asking questions. It's been excuse me, it's been brilliant. But I won't be doing the my segment. I thought let these guys run, and it's been fun. But if you go over to Project Metal Music's website over on Wednesday, which I will put the link into the chat there. And by Project Metal Music, projectmetalmusic.wordpress.com, you will see what's coming up on the video show this Thursday. I know I didn't do one last week because I was away for a couple of days, taking a break. So yeah, look, keep an eye out on the website to do for the show, and also before we sign off, Basjan has done a new review today, and it's up there now. So check that out, and it is brilliant. So Basjan, can you give us a quick rundown on the review? Which band, and what album you've done a review for?
Yes, I'm gonna do it quickly. Let me just get my computer because I was on my phone. Let me go computer ready. Okay, it's False Memories, and it's a dark metal band from Italy formed in 2015. And yes, for me, you can find interesting because the band is work with what's her name, Annette Olsen on this album, and some very interesting songs and stuff. And I highly recommend the band because they've worked with their label mates, Symbiont from Brazil. So this band is really fantastic, and go and check them out.
Yeah, true. Yeah, check them out, guys. Basjan's put all the links to the social media in the review. So yeah, check them out. See what you think. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, fair enough. Yeah. So before I forget, before we sign off, before we finish, I have an interview with a brilliant band called Lucifer, coming up this Friday.
Awesome.
I will put the link into the live stream, to the live interview in the chat there. Yeah, if you want to come watch the interview, please click on the link. Hit the notify me to if you want to see the live interview. Plus, like today, like every interview that I've done, you can actually ask live questions to the band. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. So yeah, that's what's coming up on this Friday. Oh, and I will be doing a video of my time, little video of the time that I did that I spent in North Wales. It's a beautiful part of the country, literally a beautiful part of the country. So I will be posting that. So anyway. Let's wrap things up now. So yeah, like we always say, if you're going to go out to a live gig, don't drink and drive. It's a dick move. It's a literal dick move. So don't drink and drive. Always get a taxi. Always, if you can't get a hotel room or bed and breakfast, Airbnb, whatever, don't drink and drive. It's a dick move.
Definitely agree with you 100% there.
So, Basjan, any last words before we sign off?
For me, it's just support your indie acts wherever you go, and watch the space, because interesting things are happening on Project Metal. Watch the space.
Oh yes, oh yes. So guys, catch you all later.
Catch you later. Have fun, people.